La situation à Djibouti est arrivée à un point tel qu'il ne faut pas rester les bras croisés. Djibouti, aujourd'hui, est au bord du gouffre.
My name is Dahir Ahmed Farah, also known as DAF. I am the chairman of MRD, which is one of the main opposition political parties in Djibouti. I live in exile because I feared for my life. I left Djibouti in 2004 because I was very involved in democratic change struggle. I was imprisoned, harassed, fired from my job. My family was harassed, but I resisted. I kept on. So the regime decided to put an end to my life. If you want to understand the opposition movement in Djibouti, you should meet people like Mohamed Moussa Ainashe. He was the founding father of RTD, Djiboutian Radio TV. He tried to get information to people, to Djiboutian people, in a free way, but he could not. Mr. Mohamed Kadami Yusuf was denied the right to work in Djibouti. He was denied the right to found and lead a political movement in Djibouti. Mr. Bore was very close to President Ismail Omar Guelleh. He was the one who advised him in economic affairs. He was the one who brought in Djibouti some foreign investors. He was the one who was so close. But Ismail Omar is also bad with the people who are close to him. He uses them and then he throws them like a simple object.
I worked very closely with him and I developed the country with him, and I did so much, and suddenly I had to be condemned 15 years in prison and I was a terrorist. It's very fashionable. It's like the iPhone. It's very fashionable to put a sticker on anybody you don't like anymore.
Ismail Omar Guelleh is a former colonial policeman, a former colonial low-level policeman. That man has a background of brutality, of violence, of poor education. He's afraid of debate, freedom, democracy, opposition. He took all the wealth of the state. He has many policies, he has many bank accounts, both inside and outside the country. He has a big plane, personal plane, a 767 Boeing, while his country is one of the poorest countries in the world.
C'est une honte, non seulement pour les gens qui dirigent ces pays-là, d'avoir un luxe insolent à côté des gens qui meurent de faim et même de soif.
I don't consider him as a president because he's there in an illegal way. There was no referendum on our constitution. People were not asked whether they want to change. And it's such a pity that someone changes the constitutions just for his self-interest so that he can become a president for life.
Le président actuel, M. Ismaël Omar Guelleh et moi-même, nous sommes de même génération, des mêmes années de naissance, nous avons grandi ensemble. Je crois que c'est un garçon qui était frustré par sa physique d'abord, quand il était jeune, enfant, et qui était gêné par son côté physique. Ce n'était pas de sa faute, mais c'était comme ça. Bon, quand on joue au football, par exemple, je prends l'exemple, quand on joue au football, on se choisissait celui qui fait partie de l'équipe. Souvent, il était oublié, lui. On ne le prenait pas, mais parce qu'il était trop gros, malheureusement, il était là. Il restait derrière. Et toute cette frustration, je crois qu'il a accumulée, maintenant, il ne comprend pas les souffrances des autres quand il emprisonne, torture.
2 fois par mois. Bon, ça peut être 1 fois par mois, mais en général, c'est 2 fois par mois, parce que c'est très important d'avoir des contacts directs. Parce que chaque jour, il y a des événements qui se passent à Djibouti, et en plus, il faut réagir, et en même temps, il faut toujours maintenir cette unité, et même non seulement maintenir, mais l'approfondir, et essayer aussi d'engranger d'autres forces.
Freedom means everything for me. Without freedom, I do not exist. The human being does not exist. It's the defining thing of the human being. And that's why I'm opposing the dictatorship in Djibouti. And that's why I'm struggling. I am fighting for freedom.
Freedom is that you can walk and you have justice, you have rights, you have things to say, you can express yourself, you can refuse, you can have an independent opinion, you can criticize, you can say no. That is freedom. But when you can say nothing, then you have no freedom. And when you can say, when you don't have any opinion, then you are not a human being. And that's why people who are too much compressed, people who are too much put under pressure, when they explode, they really explode. And then they become what you consider here, oh, they are terrorists, oh, they are now Islamists. Yes, but we create them. We create them in the first place because we do not give them the normal joy and rights of their freedom.
It's not easy to live in exile. You are away from your country, from the people you know, from your habits, from your culture. We are here without being here in reality. In terms of feeling, we are in Djibouti. We always think about our country. I miss everything in Djibouti, everything apart from dictatorship.
To be in exile, it's a two-way street. You learn a lot, you have other opportunities, you see things. At the same time, you miss home. The reason, first of all, that I have one of my residents in England and I spend more time in London is because I feel safe. For London to accept me, to have bank accounts, to give me facilities. You know, this is a country where you cannot fool people. So I'm proud to be part of this because then it shows that I'm not a terrorist, I'm not a guy who earned my money illegally.
Djibouti is a very strategic location. It's located on the Red Sea. There is terrorism in the region. And Djibouti is an important location in the war on terror. That's why Americans are present.
Le point fort de la dictature de Djibouti, c'était la sécurité d'un côté, intérieur, et puis les soutiens des pays occidentaux, c'est-à-dire la France, l'Union européenne, les États-Unis, maintenant le Japon et peut-être l'Allemagne. Et ça, c'est les 2 points forts.
A major part of the money of the regime in Djibouti comes from Western countries. Those countries pay for the military bases they have in Djibouti. They pay rent.
S'il arrêtait aujourd'hui de soutenir ce régime ne tiendrait pas.
Western countries say we are for democracy. We support the democracy movement throughout the world, in North Africa, in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Syria, in Libya. But they do not support this in Djibouti. Why? Why? We cannot understand. It's not in their interest. It's not in our interest. We Djiboutians are already mobilized and ready to take action and to do what it takes. And so far, we are patient, we are pacific. But if there is no this support we are looking for, so there will be war. There will be civil war. Yeah, there is a great risk of civil war, of anarchy. That's the point.
We have to stop this nonsense. We have to have the rule of law and the international community, and there is the International Criminal Court, and there is this institution and that institution. We have to have it in Djibouti.
DAF veut s'extrader. Moi, j'étais extradé. Je lui conseillerais de ne pas s'extrader. C'est pas la langue du bois, hein, vous voyez.
He cannot just go back like this. I think he has to be sponsored by a government. I think there must be a third-party government who will be aware of him going back. And I think he should not go back alone. He should go back with the whole opposition who are in exile, so that it becomes a bigger thing.
People are calling for me. They are saying, we need you here on the ground in Djibouti. And they're right. They're right. And I understand them. So I have to go back.